The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
That's right, Nico, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and our freedoms. Good morning, I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful morning in downtown Clearwater, 58 degrees, clear skies, going up to about 75, so kind of a perfect winter day for us here.
Yeah, we're not complaining
Clearwater.
a bit at all. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. New one, hot off the press.
That's right.
Nico and I read news you can really use all week long, in 2 weeks, and put it together in a beautiful magazine like clickable links, $10 a month, right? Gets it in your mailbox twice a month.
On the first and third Tuesday of every month. Of course, we'd like to remind you to pick up our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, all powered by the fulvic and humic acid, which lets the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out. And give us a call if you're up and at it this morning, 877-927-6648. So, Nico, you had a vacation last week with Ellen, and it was a very special occasion to Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, Palm Springs, the La Quinta, which is a golf resort, tennis resort, polo resort, huge complex.
Nice.
Didn't even leave the complex. I was planning to go hiking, and it was just too beautiful.
They probably had trails on the property, right?
Yeah, and I kind of disconnected. I didn't even take my iPad. Can you imagine that in this day and age?
You know, I did the same thing when I went to Mexico with Jack Cruz, and I just found it so refreshing.
Yeah, so I did a lot of walking and a lot of just chilling out, and of course the special event was my wife, Ellen, got the Don Buck Award, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award for Community Association lawyers, and these are lawyers from all around the country that deal with community associations.
Yeah, really working to help people get along.
Yeah, well, that's basically it, and solving their problems, and that's why my wife got it. Over 35 years, she's been working in this industry, and she's really a pioneer, written books on it, and been on many news shows. And the thing that she does is she solves people's problems. It's not like a conventional type of lawyer. It's more like a salesperson almost. You know, you have to solve these people's problems.
A mediator.
Yeah, really, that's what it is. You're right.
And a team player to make sure, good
And
morning, guys, in the
quick.
chat room. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's everybody doing there? So I really, when we were out there, we, of course, had dinner with many different people, which was really nice, and conversation always gets around to the types of food and things like that. So I had plenty of time to talk to people about our philosophy of food, and always comes up in the conversation, is coffee bad for you or is it good for you? So I really wanted to talk today about the difference between organic coffee and conventional coffee, also some of the health benefits that people probably don't know about, and some different ways of fixing the coffee.
Well, I always say, Nico, is it good for us or is it bad for us? Sometimes it's not the food, but what we do to the food.
No doubt.
Do we spray it? Do we package it? Do we box and bag and can and cook it and so forth? So I think this is great. And there are a lot of people that have different opinions about the health benefits of coffee. And I also think it can really matter for the individual person. And there's certain organs and glands that, because it has stimulating effects, may be too hyped up.
Yeah.
And it may not be the best thing. But let's take a look at the information, because I think this is really fascinating for people. And we can help give you some tips on making sure that if you're going to drink coffee, you get the coffee that's the best for you.
Yeah, because one of the biggest differences between coffees, and the most striking one, happens really before it reaches your cup. It's the difference between the conventional coffee and organic coffee.
Do you have those pictures up on the thing? Because I like them. I just like looking at trees. I don't know if you could. Yeah, I just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, coffee lovers, as it says, are discerning people, and there's a lot to say about its flavors, aromas, and origins. But one of the biggest differences and striking differences in coffee actually happens before it ever reaches your cup. And this is what we want you to know. It is important, the sourcing and the handling.
And to put it in perspective, coffee is really one of the world's widest traded commodities, with over 12 billion pounds of coffee produced annually. So that's a lot.
Yeah, and the main difference, guys, is it's the difference between conventional and organic coffee. And even if you're choosing organic when you go to your store, you might wonder why it matters when you brew it, and it does matter.
So what's the difference?
Yeah, so because really, over time, farming methods have been developed to maximize production of coffee, but often at the expense of human health and the environmental health.
Yeah, first of all, conventional coffee is among the most heavily chemically treated foods in the world.
Sprayed like crazy.
Yeah, it's steeped in synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and insecticides. And not only does that the environment suffer from this overload, but as people, we suffer too. Farmers are exposed to high levels of chemicals while spraying the crops and while handling them during the harvest. The surrounding communities are also impacted through the chemical residues that are in the air and the water, and these chemicals are not just unpleasant. Many are highly toxic and detrimental to our health.
Right, and so it just really snowballs from there, right?
Yep.
But in the case of organic coffee, there are absolutely no synthetic fertilizers or chemicals used in growing or the production of the coffee, and that means the cleaner beans, air, the land, the water, the whole, it has a rollout effect, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's grown with only organic fertilizers, and many times they'll use coffee pulp,
right,
or chicken manure or compost. Organic farms also combat climate change.
Whatever that means.
Right. I like at least that they use climate change instead of the fake global warming, but we know. Well, I'm not even going to repeat that. They go into this less carbon than chemical farms. We're not worried about our carbon footprint because that's a lie. So, but as a bonus, organic coffee beans are richer in healthful antioxidants, and they may help people taste the difference. It's just better to source for a crop that is there's so much intervention on it, Nico.
Yeah.
I think it's really better. And I was telling you this morning when we were talking, I noticed that coffees that tend to be more organic or less sprayed or biodynamic often don't have that, I call it the shellac look. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The shiny little look.
Well, and I know that happens. The heavier the roast, the more shiny they get. So I know it's kind of a trade-off, but I also just sort of feel better when they don't have that kind of look on them.
Yeah, true. Most conventional coffees are hybrids. I didn't know this, but they're actually developed to flourish in the open sun, while coffee naturally prefers the shade. But a coffee grown in thick forest is more difficult to tend and to harvest and cannot be planted as densely.
So again, the farmers hybridize the plant for harvest, not necessarily for health.
That's right. Kind of same thing we do with the cows and any other type of thing that we domesticate.
It's crazy. They actually clear the forests, which are the natural growing areas of coffee, to make room for open fields in which to grow mass amounts of this, now they called sun-loving coffee variety. The production increases, but the wild ecosystem of flora and fauna is demolished. And that impacts the whole habitat.
Yep. So stick around, folks. We're going to talk about some health benefits that you can get from coffee that you may not know about, and then we're going to talk about how to fix it. So stick around.
That's right.
The number here is 877-927-6648. Pick up some Primal Edge during the break, if you will. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. So I got a picture here on this telestrator, and this is why I like to drink coffee. I actually imagine that there's three women across the table from me smiling at me drinking a coffee
A blonde,
with
a
me.
brunette, and a redhead.
It's the best of all worlds. That's right.
You know, it's actually the first word out of your mouth in the morning, or the thought. I think that a lot of us are that way. But many of us feel that without this magic elixir, we really can't get going. And I think we have to look at it as a delivery system that gives us that waking feeling, but also there are some good health benefits from it that we're going to learn
let's talk about the first one here, and I think nobody really doesn't know this. It's coffee improves your energy level, but the other thing, and we've often said this, it makes you smarter.
Yeah, it makes you sharp as a whip. It can help people feel less tired, increase your energy levels, and it's because coffee contains caffeine, and it's actually the most commonly used psychoactive substance. It is, in fact, in the world. And once you drink coffee, the caffeine is absorbed into the bloodstream. Yeah,
from there it travels into your brain. In the brain, caffeine blocks an inhibitory neurotransmitter called adenosine. Adenosine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When that happens, the other
neurotransmitters.
Yeah, they lead to a feeling of really good feelings. They fire all your neurons.
Well, actually, what happens is your neurotransmitters, like your dopamine and your norepinephrine, your feel good, happy, I'm sharp, I'm got it all going, increase.
Yeah,
now,
fired.
the interesting thing about that is, I told you I've been doing a little research on how different genetic SNPs impact us.
Yeah.
And why this can be important, because again, folks, our genes don't control our destiny, but whether or not we flip the switches of them via our lifestyle and our choices can make a difference. Yeah. So many of us, for example, I've recently found out that I have a SNP that's called the COMT++, which means I'm slow to process coffee, break it down. Mm-hmm. So I'm slow to break down the caffeine, slow to break down the norepinephrine, slow to break down the dopamine. They say that a lot of traders on the trading floor have that SNP, makes them really sharp and remembering things, but
it's delayed a little bit.
It's delayed a bit, but we can also do the complete opposite in emotional stress. If we get too stressed, we can just fall apart. And that is like, that's me. I mean, and so we're seeing, let's say there's a family loss or something. That person can literally be out because
Gone
they
for a
just
while.
can't get rid of them. It's very interesting.
You know,
Thought I'd slide that in.
there's been many controlled trials in humans
Mm-hmm.
that show coffee improves different aspects of the brain function. This includes memory, mood, vigilance, energy levels, reaction times, and a general cognitive function. So it makes you feel good. When a group of volunteers received a dose of 100 megagrams of coffee, about as much as contained in a single cup, the Austrian researchers found a surge in the volunteers' brain activity, and it was measured by functional magnetic resonance, the fMRI.
Yeah, researchers overall found that coffee drinkers have higher memory skills and reaction times and greater brain activity in general. Number 2, and I like this one, coffee can help you burn fat.
That's right.
I mean, basically almost every dietary aid that you might see, fat-burning supplement has caffeine as one of the ingredients. And there's a good reason for the reason that it can help you burn fat, because it's one of the very few natural substances that have actually been proven to aid in fat burning.
That's right. There's been several studies that show that caffeine boosts the metabolic rate by 3 to 11%, and other studies show that caffeine can specifically increase the burning of fat by as much as 10% in obese individuals and 29% in lean people. Listen
Interesting.
to that, folks.
Yeah. Well, that's because muscle is more metabolically active.
That's right.
See?
Yeah.
So the more muscle you have, the more lean you are. Interesting stuff there. Number 3, caffeine can drastically improve physical performance. It increases one of those stress hormones, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and this raises those levels in the blood. This is the fight or flight hormone designed to make our bodies ready for intense physical exertion.
That's right.
The key is we don't want to be having that all day, though.
That's right. Caffeine makes the fat cells break down the body fat, releasing them into the bloodstream as free fatty acids, and makes them available as fuel. So given these effects, it's not surprising to see that caffeine can improve your physical performance by 11 to 12%.
Yeah, so it makes kind of sense to have yourself a little cup of coffee before you hit the gym.
Yeah.
You're going to feel better.
About an hour before, they suggest, too.
Yeah, so it kind of has time to work. So
That's
number 4, there are actually some essential nutrients in coffee. I read a statistic once that said coffee is probably one of the greatest sources of antioxidants for people that live off the SAD diet. That's kind of sad. But the coffee bean does have antioxidants and some basic nutritional components that we all need.
Yeah.
Specifically, a single cup of coffee gives you a dose of vitamin B2, pantothenic acid, and manganese and potassium, magnesium, and niacin. That opens up the blood vessels. So it may not seem like a big deal, but if you drink 3 or 4 of these, the amounts can add up, but so can the caffeine. So we want to kind of balance that.
Yeah, and remember that we say that a lot of people are getting nutrition from this, but if you're drinking a conventional coffee, then maybe you're not getting that much. You're still probably getting some, but you could be getting some of the mold. You could be getting, you're
getting over 500 pesticides that they're
that's
using
the real
on them.
problem
So that's
there.
why take your dose in a healthy dose.
Yeah, and remember that coffee is a fruit, and it's on a tree, so they're spraying these things. You can't individually, put stuff on a coffee bean. You have to spray the whole tree and everything. So that's why in the beginning we really mentioned that the organic is so much better than conventional. You're not getting any of that, and you can really taste the difference. Now, what Ellen and I do usually is we get a bunch of different organic brands, and even when we travel, we try to find different ones, and when we mix them together, usually about 3 of them we mix together, and it comes up that you get kind of a different cup of coffee with each time
I
you
enjoy
put
that
it.
myself too. I just recently found a coffee that's grown biodynamically, which is kind of, I think, beyond.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, biodynamic farming uses a lot of principles. I'd like to do a whole show on that. We'll get into it further, but using kind of a lot of the principles of Rudolf Steiner in terms of using the same soil. It's kind of the next step beyond organic, I feel.
Okay, so using the same soil, but infusing it with maybe humic and fulvic acid.
Yes,
maybe...
and water that's structured and different things, and maybe the way it's grown and the geometric shapes. Dr. Cowan, I mentioned him on a couple of shows. Dr. Cowan's Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
He has these things that he grows, although I think he did sustain a little bit of damage with the fires, but they have some wonderful products, and He puts them in mirror on glass to keep the energetic signature, but that's interesting in itself. But getting back to coffee.
And we should talk to this, David Devine, we should talk about coffee because he's really knowledgeable about coffee too.
I've been texting him. I think he's going to get on the show soon. He's been busy traveling, but yes.
Okay.
Number 5, coffee actually helps you lower your risk of type 2 diabetes.
Yeah,
and we know it's a gigantic problem now.
Yeah, it's really currently affecting about 300 million people worldwide. It is characterized by elevating blood sugars in the context of insulin resistance or in the inability to secrete the insulin itself.
Yeah, so, studies show that people who drink the most coffee have a 23 to 50% lower risk of getting this disease. One study showed a reduction of 67%. That's significant because this is probably the most threatening health concern. So stick with us, guys. We're going to give you some more benefits to having that cup of joe in the morning. And while you're at it, pick up some of our Primal Edge, and we'll be right back.
Right.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
All right.
Hey, we've got a question, too, in the chat room. Is there such a thing as a caffeine crash? Why, yes, there is. As I mentioned earlier, for some people, caffeine is not a good choice. Either they've experienced a lot of stress in their lives, their adrenals, their level or tolerance for stress is temporarily not optimal. And I mentioned people that might have genetic SNPs that mean they do not detoxify the stress hormones of caffeine, adrenaline, norepinephrine, dopamine, and they can get a buildup, and this causes a crawling out of your skin type of feeling.
Yeah, and of course, we fix coffee with a bunch of different things, too.
We use it as a delivery system.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it, too. So what we do, when we're going to California, we took our little capsules of MCT oil.
Did you take that butter that you can buy in a can that I told you about?
No, but they have butter there.
Right.
Yeah, so we put butter in it, we put some MCT oil in it.
Yeah, so you get your fat-soluble vitamins,
right,
you're getting your
heavy
MCT
cream
oils.
you can use.
Yeah.
Don't use that half and half, folks.
Well, you can also add your, I use marine collagen. I use fish generated, it has tasteless. So I get, my cup of coffee has 25 grams of protein.
Far out.
Yeah, so I'm getting healthy fats and healthy protein, and I don't even taste it.
Yeah.
So
and you mentioned healthy fats. That you see the fat of the coffee on top,
Right.
especially. So if you have that real good organic coffee, that's what you're seeing. And then adding a little more MCT oil actually expands that. And remember, MCT oil, medium chain triglycerides.
Gets into the brain.
They really get into the brain. They burn off. They don't store. So many advantages to this.
That's like I said. I say if you think of your coffee as a delivery system for other things that you need, it's great. So we covered the fact that there's health benefits in the way of preventing diabetes. But how about this? Coffee may protect you from Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Studies show that coffee drinkers have up to a 65% lower risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is the most common neurodegenerative disease and the leading cause of dementia worldwide. Again, another thing I've learned from doing my SNP analysis.
Yeah.
Many of us, if we know our APOE SNP, again, your genes do not control your destiny, but if your lifestyle is not right, those genes may turn on. And if you happen to be you want to ask your doctor, get that test.
Yeah,
if you're an APO4, you're at super high risk of Alzheimer's. I'd say drink some coffee.
Yeah, and of course these diseases, some forms of dementia, usually affect people over 65, but and there's no cure, so they say.
Well,
but I think
that's
if you change
medicine. That's because they haven't come up with a drug they can patent yet. But we know people like Dr. Mary cured her husband's Alzheimer's by putting him on what?
Fat,
What kind of fat?
butter.
MCT oil.
MCT oil,
Yeah, coconut oil. She started to research what the heck are the medical doctor. What the heck are these researchers looking at? I don't want to wait around. I want to see what they're really what's looking promising for Alzheimer's. And underneath all their hidden stuff, basically what it turned out is they think coconut oil does it. So all of these people that are drinking coconut oil or MCT oil were actually being able to deliver in the fat envelope nutrients to the brain.
Right, and so they say, of course, that Alzheimer's, dementia, these are things that usually are affected by non-healthy eating. So you're getting this over a lifetime of a bad diet. So if you have a great diet like Paige and I are suggesting, then the chances of you getting Alzheimer's, dementia are really greatly induced. I probably never get it. But if you're at that state, this is one way that you can help alleviate some of the problems.
Yeah, that's great, Nico. And, finally, actually, we find out that caffeine may help in another very detrimental disease that we're seeing on the rise, and that's the risk of Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is the second most common neurodegenerative disease, and it's right behind Alzheimer's. And, again, no known cure because they haven't come up with a drug for it. But
That's right.
And but the truth is, in studies, coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of developing Parkinson's disease with a reduction up to about 60%. So when you talk about number 1 and number 2 neurodegenerative diseases, coffee is effectual in helping to prevent these.
That's right. Research indicates that people who drink decaffeinated don't reduce the risk of Parkinson's. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I think that's a real clear indication that it's beyond the antioxidants in the coffee. It really, truly is the caffeine as a delivery mechanism.
Yeah,
and then farther, I think it'd be very interesting to see if people who just drink black coffee as opposed to people who are enhancing their coffee with the fats, if they see a difference.
I think they
have to do a little research on that.
Well, I think that lady that you mentioned already did the research just by getting coconut oil.
Yeah, but I don't think in her research, Dr. Mary Newman, I don't think coffee was part of it. I think it was purely coconut.
Yeah, so there's the answer. You put the coconut in the, not the coconut, but the coconut oil.
Yeah.
You put it in the coffee, and I think you'll help yourself.
Exactly. So, and guys, Here's another one. Coffee appears to have protective effects on the liver.
And that's really cool because you would think the opposite. You're thinking, okay, it's a stimulant, so it's going to go to, but it's not a stimulant like the artificial drugs and things that these companies are making. This is a natural stimulant. So
Yes,
that's
right.
the difference.
Yeah, but it's, the most common diseases in our liver that we're seeing today include hepatitis and fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic and alcoholic. And why is this happening? Because we're actually feeding our livers these fructose as, sugars that the liver just has no clue what to do with.
Well, they actually cause scarring in the liver. So you're getting actually like damaged tissue in there.
Well, it says here, turns out the coffee protects against cirrhosis. So people who drink 4 or more cups per day have an 80% lower risk of cirrhosis.
And that's a lot of
These are starting to be significant numbers. Did you hear what we said? We said number 1 and number 2 neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, greatly reduced risk. Number 3, liver, and the liver is the love that we need to do everything. If you ain't loving your liver, it's going to impact a lot of things.
It cleans everything up, that's for sure. So coffee can fight depression and make you happier. So that certainly is a feeling you get when you drink some coffee. You go, this feels so good. You get the energy going, so it does make you happier.
Yeah, true. And really, to get those numbers up, it was a Harvard study in 2011. Women who drank 4 or more cups per day had a 20% lower risk of becoming depressed.
Yeah, there's another study that with over 208,000 individuals found those who drank 4 or more cups per day were 53% likely to commit suicide.
No, less likely.
Less likely to, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Okay, so something does, it opens up the brain, and I think we understand where that comes from because, as we said, it stimulates the neurotransmitters, the feel-good hormones. And for many people, that's great. If you got a calm tea snip and you're under stress, you can start to be wired and then go sort of the opposite way.
And tea also has caffeine in it, and it's another great way, another delivery system for us. So we're talking about these drinks like coffee and tea. Remember, coffee and tea are the most produced things to drink in the world. When you go just about anywhere in the world, somebody's going to invite you over for coffee or for tea. That's just the way it is. That's the way human beings are. And we don't want to be charged for it. We give it freely. This is the natural way of the human being.
Well, don't go anywhere, folks. I mean, if that's not enough, we've got 8 more benefits and statistics to tell you why that cup of joe might just be what you need to know
That's
about.
for sure. It's the thing that really makes things happen. And the other thing is, of course, our Primal Edge. So please pick that up. It's only $89. Takes it right to your door every single month, folks.
And that
It's the
helps
best
you get
thing.
the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out.
We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're sharing some of the health benefits of coffee. And before I go on, I noticed that Matt from Vail made the comment that he loves loose tea. I do too. And boy, are there health benefits even beyond, many teas have caffeine that can be beneficial, but hundreds of herbal compounds.
Yep.
And I think teas are wonderful. I mentioned the delivery system. That watered tea delivers all those antioxidants and powerful polyphenols and phytochemicals that are in tea that we just don't know. And he mentions also that he enjoys the 4 sigmatic mushrooms such as chaga. They almost taste like coffee. So if you like a coffee flavor, look at some of the healthy mushroom teas because they have tremendous benefit to us too.
So you can mix the two together.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing, Matt. But hey, guys, if you drink your cup of coffee, you may be at a lower risk of heart disease.
Yeah, which is one of the leading causes of death in America. And coffee,
stroke.
And it appears to be protective against various types of cancer, like liver cancer and colorectal cancer and skin cancer.
Oh, I thought we were talking about heart disease and stroke. I jumped over. I'm sorry.
No,
oh, well,
that's okay.
Doesn't matter.
That's
Cancer, heart disease, stroke. So
there was one study here, Paige, of 489,000 individuals found that those who drank 4 to 5 cups per day had a 15% lower risk of colorectal cancer.
I wonder, all right, so we're talking about colorectal, the emptying chute. Could it simply be that coffee helps you go more and get the toxins out?
I think it has a lot to do with that, sure.
It could be, along with the antioxidants that are in there. And, we mentioned the heart disease and stroke. It's true that caffeine can actually increase blood pressure, which may or may not be a bad thing.
Well, yeah, it may be just the jolt you need to get your body
Who's to say
re-rubbed.
as we get older that maybe having a little bit of something to push it through the vessels isn't a good thing?
I think it probably is.
I mean, poor blood flow is a big issue.
Yeah.
Having good blood flow is important.
So they think that coffee drinkers have about a 20% lower risk of stroke. Now, the next thing on here is coffee. Number 12, coffee may help you live longer.
Hey, just longevical. How about that? In observational studies, drinking coffee was associated with a 20% lower risk of death in men and a 26% lower risk of death in women over a period of 18 to 24 years.
Yeah, and type 2 diabetics who drank coffee had a 30% lower risk during the 20-year study period. So that's really cool. The next one on the list is coffee is the biggest source of antioxidants in the Western diet.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the open.
Yes.
I mean, you might actually argue that that's a little depressing. What that tells you is that the average American is not eating very many of their high antioxidant fruits and vegetables as a condiment to their...
May it be that the modern fruits and vegetables don't have as many antioxidants in it? I think that's
because
more
they're
likely.
commercially grown. There you go, because of the way they're grown.
Exactly.
And coffee could reduce the risk of multiple sclerosis. Boy, that's a neurological condition that's extremely
So
debilitating.
we see a trend here when you're talking about Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, dementia, multiple sclerosis, all have to do with the neural pathways, all have to do with the brain and how it interacts with the rest of your body.
Yeah, so the MS thing was more of a observational study. They had a lower risk, but it just keeps adding on.
And it's quite a bit of increase, though. They're talking 28 to 30% lower risk, so that's pretty significant.
Yeah, so just in general, we hit on the heart disease and stroke, but they have another point here, cardiovascular protection. You know, it's really important to be concerned about your cardiovascular system in general, but simply drinking 1 or 2 cups of coffee per day, you actually significantly reduce your risk of a cardiovascular disease-related death.
Yeah.
That is attention-worthy, folks, and there was a Japanese study of more than 76,000 participants. They drank 1 to 2 cups of coffee daily, and they reduced their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by almost 40%.
Yeah, that's huge. So there's a lot of things going on here. Number 16, coffee makes you a better driver.
Well, again, you've got a full complement of the hormones that say, I'm ready, set, go.
That's right.
So, you know, many of us are used to the idea of sipping on some coffee to stay alert and get focused. I know that to get up and do this show, I really enjoy my cup of coffee. That's part of what I do while I'm driving here.
Yeah, according to the National Sleep Foundation, there was a poll, 60% of active drivers, about 168 million people, say they've driven a vehicle while feeling drowsy in the past year, and more than 1/3 have fallen asleep at the wheel. If you've ever had that feeling of nodding off and then getting back, and that's a very scary feeling, you've made it this time, and how often can it happen that you don't make it? So there's a lot of people out there hitting things. But, you know, coffee is just one of those things that is intrinsic in our society. I love it. It's a great vessel for getting you healthy.
Like we said, you know, using it as a way to deliver some other foods that we get. We're so busy that really, you know, whether it be your tea or, you know, you can add a shot of some other really healthful foods or supplements. I call them my terrific tonics. You know?
Yeah.
Delivering something.
You do have some great tonics.
So, you know, just to highlight, I'm going to go over 3 ways to choose coffee for health benefits. You know, we already kind of highlighted that. Let's make sure you're choosing organic coffee brands. Choose companies that are doing things to protect the environment. Look for biodynamic. Look for organic, and maybe supportive of a culture in some ways, you know?
Yeah, because the pesticides really pollute the water. There's a lot of runoffs. They have symptoms like headaches and dizziness, difficult breathing in farm workers. Organic coffee is a little bit more expensive, but they're a healthier choice and probably the best thing for your health. So, you know, go to the store and check it out. Some of them are really expensive, but you'll find a lot that aren't that much more. And like I said, if you blend some together, then you get some really nice tastes, and that way you can experience different things. And also, if you want to not drink as much, try espresso, try the cappuccinos, those types of things. And they have a lot of good machines out there, and it's kind of a fun project to get into that. My wife and I did about 10 years ago, starting off with one of these little Krupp machines and then graduating to a little bit better machine.
You've got a pretty fancy coffee machine.
We got a nice
I've been
Gaggia, a titanium, which has worked really well, and I just love the fact that it's ready in minutes, so you don't have to go through the whole
And I
thing.
like, I mentioned it earlier, I talked to you about Premier Research, the coffee beans that I order because I have an account with them. This article says, choose light roasted coffee beans for an antioxidant boost. Makes sense, folks. If the coffee beans are not roasted as heavily, you might have more intact antioxidants. You know, you've seen some that say blonde and black, so look for those lighter, not so shiny black, look like they're charred. The studies have shown that the light roasted coffee beans have higher levels of antioxidants, and these protect against the molecular damage and may prevent certain diseases.
Yeah.
So
It says here also drink no more than 3 to 5 cups per day, and that falls kind of within the range of what most people may be doing. I usually don't have as much as that. I might have a cup in the morning, a cup in the afternoon, maybe a cup.
I'm pretty much just a morning coffee drinker. Whatever I drink in my thermos cup, I drink it But I'm drinking it over about a 3-hour period in the morning.
Yeah, and it's interesting. In the morning, I drink it without any sweetener whatsoever. I don't like the sweetness in the morning. But in the afternoon, I don't like the taste of the coffee without the sweetness.
So it's almost like your little treat.
Well, it becomes in the afternoon definitely a treat.
Right.
And I don't put a lot in it. I use honey strictly, but I don't think it really matters. You can use a little sugar.
Combining with making other lifestyle changes, you can reap massive benefits from being a coffee drinker. And although coffee can be protective against certain diseases, it's the whole. It's a quantum effect. It's doing lots of things to stay healthy.
So when we get back, we'll talk a little bit about how to prepare it at home.
Achievers rise above the rest, and when they see an opportunity, they take action. Massive action. Achievers capitalize on every resource in order to experience success at its absolute max. And on Wednesday, January 31st, from 5 to 6 p.m., I'll share with subscribers of Mastering Probability how to achieve even more success with the extraordinary tools that I use to call the markets. These tools predicted the Ebola 2015 stock market bottom, the December 2017 gold bottom, and why subscribers added to their mining positions this month as well. Learn the pattern that projects the Dow's next upside target of 30,740. Folks, great moments were born from great opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity to take advantage of my 30-day money-back guarantee for Mastering Probability. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up today and reserve your spot for the ultimate subscriber event.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back to the show. You know, if you grind your own beans at home, that's a good thing because you don't want to buy the already ground. I like the idea.
Never buy already ground.
And I have a picture here of a grinder, but this is not the kind of grinder I would recommend because when you spin these blades, they heat up. So you're going to heat up the coffee before you brew it. You want a burr grinder.
Burr grinder.
Yeah, it's a kind of that has the grinds and it kind of just kneads itself and it doesn't create the heat. So that's one thing for sure.
And I really liked your idea where you said you guys kind of go on a coffee collecting thing, and maybe you get 3 pounds of coffee. You must have some container, airtight container, and then you dump them together.
Well, it's not airtight. Interesting, because you want the carbon dioxide, which is produced when in the container, to be purged. So there's special containers that have a little purge on the top that take out the carbon dioxide and doesn't let the oxygen in. So it's a very cool little method. It's not expensive, but it does enhance the flavor and, of course, the antioxidants stay in there.
I'd like to check out that.
Yeah, so you can find that on Amazon. So ask for your utility company to check out your water. So I usually just use, just pure
I use distilled water.
Distilled water is perfect. What I've used, and it's great for your coffee maker too. You don't
you're not going to get all that mineral buildup. Correct.
And here, another thing that it says is drink your coffee black, which
we don't necessarily agree with, but as opposed to adding artificial sweeteners or artificial, pasteurized, store-bought, non-organic creams or sugars or so forth. If you can't put good stuff in it, don't put anything in it at all.
Well, this article is thinking of the old thing and not putting fat in your coffee because you're going to be fat, but that's not the case. It's going to actually help you burn. And it also evens out that stress feeling that you get from coffee, so you have that nice clarity, and it's over a longer period of time.
Here's a great tip that I do like that they have in this article, and this is something I do all the time. After I grind my beans and I dump them into my coffee machine, I have non-irradiated, keyword, Frontier is one of those companies, non-irradiated organic spices that I add. Flavor your coffee with spices. I have cinnamon. I have pumpkin spice. I use it all year round. Now, pumpkin spice actually has ginger and clove. These are all anti-parasitical herbs. And cardamom. Cardamom, actually, unless it's in my pumpkin blend, I've never used it, but I'm going to buy some because cardamom is really high in antioxidants and minerals, and it helps with digestion. So.
Now, if you're out and about and you want some coffee, naturally, there's a lot of coffee houses out now, which is really nice. We were out in Northern California last summer or the summer before, and there was this great coffee house, and, it was one of the best we'd ever been to. One of the things that we do, we always carry the MCT oil, but whatever you get, I would recommend getting your coffee black, and then if you want to add something, have that already.
Just add it if it's stuff you have.
Yeah.
And God's sake, don't order a frappuccino or a fettuccino. It's if you want to these are mostly sugar-laden drinks with a lot of processed sweeteners and additives that are not healthy for you.
Yeah, of course, you want your coffee fresh, so go to a place that grinds it at the same time that they're fixing it. And going to these coffee houses is really interesting, usually interesting place. They have different styles of coffee, and I like just sampling different coffees from around the world. So ask them what types of coffee they have, what kind of espresso they have, and don't use their additives at all.
Yeah, so remember too, the next time you're doing a little shopping and looking at your beans, try and pick the ones that are lighter. Actually green coffee has the highest antioxidants. That's not what you see that often, but very light colored beans are going to be a little more nutrient dense and healthier for you. So
Another way, just to interject for a minute, the other way to use coffee, of course, I use it for coffee enema.
Sure, we do.
That's not the same type of coffee.
Absolutely has to be an antioxidant-rich coffee.
And specifically designed and roasted for use as
like
enemas.
the green coffee beans.
That's exactly
right. Yes, it is right. Well, that was our show today.
It went pretty fast.
Cheers. Enjoy your coffee. Stay healthy, and join us next time.
Thanks for sticking around, folks.
Appreciate
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.